Do you remember a time when Microsoft Word placed a red underline beneath the word microtransactions? I do. And believe me when I tell you that those were the days. Well, they were for me, anyway. I'm sure there were a few people having a bad time. You know, stubbing their toes on the furniture, getting caught in the rain, or being crushed to death by a white rhinoceros. Then again, I sometimes wonder if the rhino shoe people got off lucky. They don't have to live in this goddamn clinical, corporate, greed-infested, micro-payment-ridden hell. I've been out of the loop on the happenings of the gaming industry for the past few months, and I think that's been quite good for me. It's allowed me to spend more time focusing on my true calling, creating abstract art out of toenail clippings. Unfortunately, much like the cold embrace of death, bad news can't be kept at bay forever. I recently learned that EA is still an immensely profitable company. Knowing that sure brightened up my day. EA's net revenue for 2020 amounted to $5.5 billion. And about 3/4 of that revenue was generated by DLC, microtransactions, and other live service products. FIFA Ultimate Team alone accounted for 29% of EA's revenue for the whole year. Only a fourth of EA's revenue now comes from the direct sale of video games. Around the same time that news broke, Ubisoft announced their intentions to focus more on high-end free-to-play games in the future, which probably means that Splinter Cell is deader than the Dutch East India Company. Oh, and by the way, Activision Blizzard made $8.1 billion last year. Modern Warfare was responsible for roughly a quarter of that revenue, despite having released in the prior fiscal year. Now, I recognize that I've just bombarded you with a ton of information, so I'm gonna try my best to neatly summarize all of it. We're fucked! Microtransactions are here to stay. It's over. But where exactly did it all go wrong? Frankly, I think the seeds for microtransactions, otherwise known as microtrans seeds, were sown a long time ago. Live service games are nothing new. The term itself might be new, but the fundamental idea is far from it. A live service game is simply a title which generates revenue post-launch, and you can easily trace these titles back to the early days of the 360 and PS3, if not earlier. The only difference between now and then is that the business model wasn't as sophisticated. The infrastructure wasn't quite there. Publishers didn't yet know just how much they could get away with. Season passes and day one DLC were little more than progenitors to a much more profitable product. And, as much as it pains me to say this, from a business perspective, microtransactions are about as close to perfect as a product can get. Why would any publisher spend hundreds of millions of dollars developing a brand new game they can only sell once, which may or may not succeed, when they could spend a fraction of that money indefinitely producing digital assets for a game they've already created? Not only is the cost of producing these assets negligible compared to developing a brand new game, but because publishers have complete control over the in-game ecosystems of these titles, they can both set the price and stipulate how the assets can be obtained and used. It's not bad enough that content which used to be free is locked behind a paywall, but now you have to either buy a loot box and just hope that you win the item you truly want, or you have to buy a battle pass, which is effectively just paying for the right to unlock shit. It's not too dissimilar from a cow paying a farm for the privilege of having milking machines welded to its tits. And let's not forget about limited time items. What a brilliant idea! By imposing a time limit on the availability of in-game items, pressure is placed on you to play the game more regularly, because the more you play, the more likely you are to purchase the next battle pass. After all, if you've already spent hundreds of hours playing one game to obtain some skins which will go out of fashion in less than a few weeks, what's stopping you from playing for 100 hours more in pursuit of the next batch of skins? With battle passes, publishers have found a way to marry FOMO and the sunk cost fallacy, and I don't see those two lovebirds needing couples therapy anytime soon. All of this is bullshit, by the way. Legendary gun camos and timed exclusive emotes are the epitome of artificial scarcity. These items are valued prescriptively. A legendary item is worth more because it's legendary, not because it offers any greater utility or value. As much as I dislike this business model, there is no denying that the opportunity cost of microtransactions is low and that the upside is enormous. That's why they're so ubiquitous in multiplayer games. Unfortunately, it's become clear to me that no amount of backlash or negative press is significant enough to deter most of the industry's biggest players from implementing microtransactions into their games. And you know whose fault that is? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with you. Wait, fuck, that's just the answer. Fuck, hold on. And you know whose fault that is? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with fuck it, whatever. It's our fault. Everybody loves to talk about how much EA sucks as though the broader public has nothing to do with their ongoing success, because I guess EA sells their games to fucking leprechauns. Everybody also seems to enjoy thinking that companies like Activision don't know what they're doing while seemingly ignoring that their annual revenue routinely eclipses the nominal GDP of several island nations. I'm sure the knowledge that you hate them keeps Activision's board of directors up at night where they're trying to get some sleep in their gold-filled Smaug dungeons. All the videos and tweets in the world don't mean anything if people are willing to purchase cosmetics, battle passes, and game-changing items, which they are and do. Now you, person watching this video, may have never purchased a costume or gun camo in a video game, and if so, it's not your fault that microtransactions are so prevalent. If you dislike microtransactions, you're absolutely within your rights to not only disengage with them, but vocally oppose them. That's, well, it really is. Being an active, aware, and vocal consumer is a good thing. But it's over. It's over. The business model has been proven. Microtransactions are never going away. Aside from financially rewarding the developers out there creating high-quality single-player experiences, all we can do now is push for more ethical live service games, ones which don't feature loot boxes or sell items which affect gameplay. That's the best we can hope for. I sometimes wonder if this was a lost cause from the very beginning. Maybe it says something about our society that so many people tether their sense of self-worth to cosmetic items which they can't even fully appreciate while wearing, but want so desperately that they're willing to fork over hundreds of dollars to get them. All because they simply wish to feel special.